I am Julia Schleppi, and I'm a graduate intern in the 8th grade. My mentor teacher is Nicole Jones. And what really drew me to the Angela Wilkins Program for graduate studies is that it ticked off all the boxes that I needed to tick off. Like I was teaching in Philadelphia, and I knew I wanted to come home to Massachusetts, and I fell in love with Orton Gillingham as an approach when I was a paraprofessional in Brookline. And so I loved that this program had the Orton Gillingham training as well as the Massachusetts licensure, which I needed, and also the Master's of Education, which I wanted to get. So it was just all of the things that I wanted in 14 months. Having worked at a charter school where often in the city, oftentimes like boilerplate curricula that are used, and especially at the middle school level for students who are struggling, I just didn't feel that was appropriate because it's not developmentally sound for them, right? If you're a 7th grader and you're still learning to read, right, you don't want to be taught to read the same way that someone is taught to read when they're 6. And so what I liked about Orton Gillingham versus something like Wilson is that there's more flexibility to make sure that students are getting what they need, right? If students already know certain pieces, you can move along faster in those areas, right? But slow down in the areas where they're struggling. Being certified in Orton Gillingham is a great thing to have on your resume. It's something that's in demand right now. It's also a way that you can make money outside of a school if you want to have your own practice and tutor after school. But the other piece is it gives me this framework to approach all education from. So when I'm teaching a history class or when I'm teaching a math class, I have that always in the back of my mind, and it's just a great way to break things down for students and to be intentional. So like all of the components of Orton Gillingham can be applied in a lot of different settings, and also knowing that my students have some of this background here at Carroll, I can pull it in. And, even if we're reading a math problem, I can encourage students to use the strategies they've learned to break it down. And going forward, if I leave Carroll, I'll be able to help students understand explicitly why the English language works the way it does. One of the really wonderful things about this program is that all of the people from whom we are learning, right, have had their feet on the ground or have their feet on the ground at these schools. And so it's all interconnected, right? A lot of our assignments, right, feel relevant. They don't feel like I'm doing homework for the sake of doing homework, right? I'm learning about a student whom I'm working with intimately. And so it's good for me to be able to analyze their data, to be able to make recommendations for them. And then I get to actually put that into practice. So I'm writing perhaps a lengthier report than I would if I was just doing this as my job. But it's still all the work that I would be doing if these were my students and I was teaching them. And in this case, they are my students and I'm teaching them. So. Yeah. The best part of being a graduate intern at Carroll School is collaborating with all the wonderful adults who work here. Everyone that I have come in touch with at Carroll, I have felt like they are on my team and they see me as a valuable member of this community and also are willing to help and jump in any way that I need. So it's just this perfect balance of like letting me do what I know I can do and also supporting me in the ways that I need. So I'm looking forward to, after this program, being a much better teacher than I was at the start.